All right, I guess we're live, huh? All right, that's my camera. Okay. Well, good evening. This is Greg Viloria, aka Social Greg on Twitter for the Nerd Stalker Media Network. We're here for the SF New Tech Post Show for the amazing Dutch Tech Night. So I'm here with a new co-host this month.
I'm the new guy around here.
It's Myles from SF New Tech. So we're going to go down all the people that pitched tonight. We had about 8 pitches, and we'll just go through it. It actually was kind of cool tonight. It was a little bit different tech. We usually do a lot of IT tech here, but tonight the Dutch came pretty strong with a lot of clean tech. So let's just go down. I'm going to butcher all these words because everything's in Dutch. So anyway.
That's okay.
The first one is Hans Brinker, which is really kind of cool. He has a technology that you can actually find bad pipes. That's all I can actually, so kind of radar technology, right?
Right, there are a lot of issues with regard to aging infrastructure, and Hans Brinker is seeking to provide solutions to possible deterioration that might be happening with regard to pipes and conduits or whatnot that are at risk based on sediment that might be settling or earth disturbances that might move a very integral piece of an infrastructure as much as a millimeter that could cause a problem down the line.
That was kind of cool.
So there have been things that happened recently that he used in his presentation. Most notably is the big fire and explosion in Harlem and the fire down here at China Basin, where if they had some measurements on their gas pipe, there might have been some preventable actions that could have been taken.
So PG&E is their friends, huh?
PG&E is their next big client.
I think so.
Maybe.
I think that's with all the infrastructure issues I think we have here in California. I think that's going to be a no-brainer, right? So anyway, let's go to the next one. Solar leasing. So they said they could compete against Solar City, right? That was kind of interesting.
Yeah, so these guys weren't on the original program, and that's okay because that's how we roll. But they're over here from the Netherlands to talk to potential investors about their solutions in the solar leasing space. And if you live in Northern California and listen to the AM radio dial, you hear ads for solar leasing products and solutions all the time. So this isn't new news to us here. We're very used to working with the sun to capture energy, but what these guys are offering is a more efficient way to do that, and they're looking for partners and investment to make that happen.
Yeah, he's saved 10% immediately from day one, they said, on the lease, so sounds pretty good. So.
But this is also from a guy who had people throw quarters and pennies at him at stage,
yeah, that was interesting.
And then he almost took his shirt off. So, that's all good.
So they're looking for, I think he got, out of the crowdfunding tonight, he got probably $2 and some change, which brings him to my calculation of his $23 million that he needs, 0.01% or something like that.
I would say 0.000197%.
Yeah, something like that. So, but he's on his way. He got some money from the SF New Tech crowd tonight. And we'll get the final numbers from him later. So, anyway,
then we'll get our 5% out of that.
Yes. So, the next one's Eternal Sun. So, is specializing in solar simulation technology. That was kind of different, I thought.
Yeah, Chokri did a good job, and he was one of the favorites from the consulate. I wish I had more to say about that subject. To be honest, this is all new for me. So if I were to say something, it would probably not make a lot of sense.
So they do like product and material testing of solar. So, the biggest challenge I think in solar, from what I understand right now, is the length in service, reliability. So they will be able to model that for you and see if your solar product is up to snuff from a material standpoint, from anything like that. So their second largest customer, they said, is in South Korea. So okay, that makes sense, I guess. South Koreans need a lot of modeling, I guess, in their solar.
It's really sunny in South Korea.
Yeah, it is very sunny in South Korea. So next up, we got SRB Energy, Jan van Diesen presented. The solar collector, not not a solar panel, but a solar collector, right?
Right. So here was a device that was under some serious patent protection that was a more efficient way to store the heat energy that was derived from the solar panels. So I think one of the slides had a picture of this actual panel covered in snow, yet the internal temperature was still at a very high level. So it was just showing the efficiencies of this technology that they have to bring solar energy into a more sustainable and renewable plateau.
I guess where it's freaking cold like Europe, he said like 50% of their solar is used in heating. So
that's right.
And he said they need some strategic investors. They need 5 to 6 years to make it cheaper. That's a long time. But they said that this thing could be maintained for about 20 plus years. It's supposed to be that bulletproof. I thought that was kind of interesting.
And I wonder if the global warming calculations were put into those projections. So in year 6, they know it's going to be a lot warmer, so the revenue potential is much higher.
Yeah, so maybe. I think to get money, you'll have to make up that type of story, though.
I wonder.
Yes. Okay. So e-traction. This is kind of cool, actually. So they're making a direct drive motor solution that'll fit within a wheel, but they're going after buses. Now, I thought about this, and I thought I saw an article on like Yahoo Auto or like in December, where there's this Detroit company making the same thing but for small cars. Now, what I'm thinking with this e-traction, guys, and they're going after buses, it must be like this high torque, a bus full of people. You got to move all these people, right? So it's probably a more high torque solution, but he claimed it was almost kind of like different and new, didn't he?
Yeah, the technology seemed to be really cool, but I'm curious and cautious about how he's going to go about and penetrating certain markets. I mean, is it a deal where they put this into the buses that are already part of a fleet as an aftermarket solution, or is this a quote-unquote OEM that's bought and pre-manufactured as new fleets are delivered?
It sounded like an OEM solution the way he was pitching it tonight. He didn't really go into a retrofit market, but like they were creating, he was saying to prove the concept, he was creating some buses to prove the concept, to say, hey, this is how you can use our direct drive technology.
Right, so for this guy or this company to succeed, they just need a very small percentage, they just need to nail down partnerships with some key manufacturers in automotive, and then they can be doing well.
I think he has to go in the Shark Tank and find somebody who's connected to the Motor City crowd or something like that.
Who knows? Where's the Motor City nowadays? But
I knew you were going to say that. It is in Detroit?
It's not Detroit. Not anymore.
Munich, probably. BMW and Mercedes. I don't know. But good point. Okay, so next up, this was kind of cool. This is kind of like more of our favorite because it's in the IT area, right? Peerby, right? Don Wittepole, who you said just flew in today, is going to fly out tomorrow. He's that on a shoestring budget, huh?
Yeah, it always surprises me and delights me to find out that somebody actually went out of their way to come to this particular event. And this guy actually bought a plane ticket and flew across an ocean to be here tonight, and he goes back tomorrow. And I am enamored, and I think that's awesome. It also worries me to death that I hope nothing happens, because when people travel long distances to come here, then I feel guilty about it. But anyway, Peerby, and I know I asked him earlier, is it Peerby or Peerby, and he told me, and now I completely forget what he had said.
Okay.
But I had told him that we have seen a number of people on this stage that have had sharing solutions that never quite really went anywhere, right? Maybe they're still out there, but
I remember on.
Yeah. I want to say like rentatool.com or whatever, but similar.
I think one of the pictures said, you could borrow a saw or borrow your neighbor's saw or something like that.
Right. So the concept is not new. But what these guys say is that their penetration, at least in Europe, is very great, and the returning customers are also very great. So there's good potential for them if they can get the name recognition here in the States.
And it was interesting. He said that they're going to make money by offering micro insurance to the borrower and the lender. of the item. I thought that was kind of interesting.
It's a little tricky because when you start dealing with insurance, there are a lot of regulations tacked onto that kind of stuff, and that was the number one revenue generator for his company that he had said. At least he listed it as number one. But when asked why you're coming to the United States, because he wants to penetrate the U.S. market, and then the question goes, so what kind of insurance companies are you dealing with here? That has yet to be determined. So I think there's a little bit of work to be done on that front.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's a little bit looser in Europe than it is here. So
I wonder, to be honest. It might be tighter over there. I don't know.
Well, if he's claiming that's like one of his number one market, I'm kind of wondering how he does it, right?
That's a good question.
Yeah, okay.
But keep your ears peeled for Pureby or Pureby? Pureby?
I don't know. P-E-R-B-Y, so you guys could pronounce it yourself. So anyway.
In the App Store.
Yeah, so in the App Store. So Quintech, technology from our friends at Boeing. So apparently these guys have picked up a flywheel technology for energy storage, right? And he got up there and said, we got this from Boeing. We're going to productize it. And we just need 7.5 mil to get 2 prototype sites up and running.
We'll see. So we wrote a check for 7.5, and we're going to see how it goes.
Yeah, get your check.
We're getting there. We're getting there. Yeah, but this was an amazing flywheel story like you've never heard before.
Yay! No bearings. He said that if you turn off the energy to this thing, it'll spin for 40 days. I'm just trying to think about that.
That sounds pretty space age to me.
Yeah, I mean, I worked on a couple maglev type things, and yeah, you could save some energy, but not in the energy realm, but on other things, and it's kind of cool,
That's
you don't
good.
have any wear out parts.
It's forward thinking, and Boeing is a minority investor in the company, which is a good sign.
All right, this last pitch, the 8th pitch of the night. We had 8 pitches tonight, which is a long night for SF New Tech, guys. Elemental water makers. Honestly, I don't know if I tuned out, but I didn't get it. Did you figure this out?
I got a little bit of it.
Okay.
So fresh water is a problem in a lot of places, and they have a desalinization solution that's cost effective for. He pointed out particularly islands.
Oh yeah, hotels on islands.
And hotels that have huge water bills. So I spent a fair amount of time on a small island, and I understand that water is a commodity and is a rare commodity. And I remember seeing stickers above every faucet that said, "The water you save today will be the water you have tomorrow." So it is high top of mind for people in areas where water is a scarcity, and if they can offer a solution to desalinate water, that's important. But one of the issues I brought up, especially with regard to islands, is that real estate is very expensive because there's not much of it. And their requirements for real estate might be at that point where the cost efficiencies might be compromised.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he's dealing with hotels and islands, shoot, I'd work for these guys.
I know, right? Let's go, Greg.
I didn't know that island thing, so I learned something about this guy every day. He lived on an island for a while, and it wasn't Long Island, right?
It was a little place called Block Island.
Okay. Where's that?
Block Island is 12 miles off the shore of Rhode Island, and it's a little speck of a piece of land about 7 miles by 3 miles across. I spent 10 good summers out there renting mopeds and serving lobster to rich New England.
This guy lives the life, man. He knows the island life. So anyway, what was your favorite tonight? Can I push that question on you?
I'm gonna have to say the favorite is the guy that we didn't even talk about.
Oh, SRB Energy?
Nope.
No.
So there was a gentleman sitting right here in this chair who had no idea I was going to tug his arm and get him on stage. He had a way for the agricultural industry to keep better tabs on water usage through canals.
Oh, the ambush demo.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
The ambush demo.
So it just, I everybody here was quality tonight, and this particular guy, young gentleman who's looking to help manage water where water needs to be managed. And living in California, that's a big issue for us.
Wow.
So farmers need their water for the food to grow, and the food needs to grow for the economy in California to move forward. If this guy can help us here locally, he might be onto something. And I wish I remember his name.
No, I mean, when we do ambush demos here, Myles, the guy just shows up, goes on there and leaves.
So rewind YouTube, press rewind, go back a couple of feet. I don't know.
KSVN, look at the show, and you'll find what this guy's name is. But it was. You're right. It's kind of cool. It's actually apropos for today in California, right? Managing water. So, okay, yeah. Let's see. I know there was a lot of sharing apps, but the PeerBee guy actually hit me because it said he could convert 80% of his sharing in 30 minutes, and that's kind of incredible to me. So he's doing something that's a little bit different than some of the other guys' video, but that was my favorite tonight because it matches some of the things that we normally do here. So
right on, and it wasn't just his track jacket. Huh?
No, he had a cool track jacket though. Green shows up on video very strongly, but anyway. So what's coming up next, Myles? We have some big things coming up next, right?
Big stuff. So pencil in your calendars. March 27th is our big Six About to Break show inside of the Macworld conference. If you have been following the news, we've partnered with Macworld, which you may know as being the preeminent spot for the Apple community to coalesce around the brands that they love, and for developers who build on top of Apple to show off their latest and greatest stuff. So what we did is put a call for entries out to see who's building cool stuff for the Apple marketplace, whether it's iOS or software or utilities or hardware. We were looking at it all. At the end of the day, we reviewed over 100 different companies and came up with 6 that we feel are about to break out.
So how long did this selection process take? I mean, did you guys lock yourself in a room for about 4 hours, 3 hours?
Yeah, no, it took it over that. It took a prelim dip into the application pile, and then through a jury of our peers within Macworld, we were able to kind of select that down to 6. And from those 6, we will be having a public vote inside of the venue, but also we'll have a judge panel with judges from Macworld, the Cult of Mac.
Oh, Cult of Mac.
Potentially Brian Solis said he might want to be doing that with us. And we're also speaking with VentureBeat to join us to judge. And so out of those 6, one will rise to the top as the winner of the Six About to Break competition at Macworld, and they will be instantly famous and rich.
Probably. It's
don't hold me to that, but that's what we're going for.
It's better than Shark Tank. I don't know. And then we have an event on the 16th coming up, right? As a new tech?
Yes, sir.
Right.
And then after that, on April 16th, we'll be right back here at Mighty, diving into some new tech. The program is still being built, but one of the things that we're very happy to announce is that at this particular event, we will be joined by our friends at a little company called Twitter, who will be joining us to sponsor their developer advocacy team. Will be in the room looking to connect with people who are developers and who might be under the perception that it's hard to work with Twitter, and that's something that they're looking to change.
That's great. Wow. So we have a lot of things coming up, and I always like to thank our sponsors. The Dutch consulate, the consulate of the Netherlands, San Francisco here was really good about supporting this event. We had Microsoft, I guess, a little bit.
Microsoft is in the house, rolling out their new OneDrive, formerly known as SkyDrive. Microsoft has been helping us support this event for a long time.
Yeah, so
and Fathom Law, yep.
Same friend, but different company, right?
That's right.
Wow.
So here we've been. This is our 8th anniversary show. So I was going to say that Eric from Fathom Law was one of the first guys that actually showed up at SF New Tech. at our first event when we were just drinking beers, talking tech. So he's now at the head of his own firm called Fathom Law. Check him out, Eric Ferraro at Fathom Law.
Eric has always been a supporter here when he was at the previous law firm, and now he has his own. So thank you, Eric, for all that. Thank you, our sponsors. Anyway, like I said, the next SM New Tech will be at Macworld 327, and the next one here at Mighty 119 Utah Street will be on April 16th. So anyway, this is Greg Viloria, aka Social Greg on Twitter for the Nerd Soccer Media Network, with my partner here,
Myles Weissleder from the SF New Tech Network, aka SF New Tech, or find me at mylerdu.com.
Yeah, and check out his video, by the way, the roller coaster video. It's hot and viral right now. Anyway, thank you. Take care. Be careful out there.
Cheers. See you soon.